Hi everyone, Miss Wyke here. I just want to take a minute and talk to you about focused editing. Pretty much, this is just us taking cups to a whole new level. And this is really important when we're writing. And let me tell you, when I get that final paper given back to me and the first letter in the first sentence of the paper isn't capitalized, really? Come on, guys. You can do this. And just doing these four things can really help improve the quality of your writing. Okay, first things first. I have passed out, or you should have, a copy of Focused Editing. I want this in your notes. So open up your reading notebook, and this should be in there. It should be taped in your notes, copied into your notes. Do something. It can go sideways across your 2 pages of notes so it doesn't stick out all over the place. But do something. It needs to be in your notes. You should have this with you, especially when you're going back to do some editing. Okay. I'm going to give you a second. Hopefully you have it. Put it in your notes, or you're putting it in your notes while I talk. Okay? Okay. First things first. Cups. Hopefully you remember capitalization, usage, punctuation, spelling. We want to check each one of these separately in your writing. We want to make sure we don't miss anything, right? So the first thing we might do is go through capitalization. Are the months of the year capitalized? Is the word I capitalized? Which there shouldn't be in certain kinds of writing. But if there is the I capitalized? What about names of people, places, brands, right? Or titles, books, movies, The Hunger Games, Cinderella, I don't know, you name it, a conflict between the North and the South. In your writing, all those titles or all those movies should be capitalized. And finally, last but not least, the beginning of your sentence or the starts of the sentences. And I want to point something out here. Check it out. If we look at M, months, M, I, names, N, T for titles, S, mints. If we're thinking about capitalization, just think about mints. Make sure you've checked all of those. And we really want to only check one thing at a time. Okay, let's do another one. Usage. This is really how it sounds. Does it sound smooth? Does it seem to be, does it have correct grammar? Does it sound like proper English versus slang and gibberish? Does it sound like something you should turn in for school, or does it sound like a Facebook or Instagram post? Because we want it to sound like a formal writing, formal English, a way that maybe a teacher talks, or the way you will hear somebody who speaks very well with good grammar, puts it all together very properly. We want it to sound like that. We don't want it to sound all choppy and y'all and ain't and all like choppy, like something you'd write on a Facebook or Instagram or in social media. This should be very formal. Punctuation. We talked a lot about this yesterday, with periods or question marks, or with commas, or with ellipse, a dot, dot, dot. We want to make sure we can hear our punctuation, right? How does it sound? We want to make sure we have all the points where we want people to breathe, or the pauses to take. Make sure it's all there. We want to check each one. Check the apostrophes and contractions and possessive nouns and all this stuff. We want to make sure it's there. Finally, last but not least, spelling. We want to use tools like a spell check. Okay, now here's something to think about. We don't have to do this all in order. We could start with spelling, then do capitalization, then do punctuation, then do usage. But the point is we want to go through it 4 times. 1 time for each section. Okay? Let's try this together. Okay, here we go. Here's a piece of writing. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see it better. And I'm going to go ahead and change this into suggesting mode, just so I can see everything in there. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is check my spelling. And as I can see, there are some squiggly lines here. At necessary, at didn't, at life-saving, at tomatoes. The reason I'm going to check this spelling is because although other spelling issues might come up in other areas later, and I might need to check it again, I can at least check the 4 that are here so that I can just have that over with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Tools and Spelling, and I'm going to check my spelling. And so I'm going to hit Change, Tomatoes. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Okay. Change, change, change. Okay. Got those done. Let's see. Tomatoes. Yep. You know what? I like those. So I'm going to say, okay, spelling, check. I've done that for now. And now I'm going to go ahead, prove those changes. Great. So now on my list, I can say I have checked spelling. Check. Done. Good to move on. Okay, now I'm going to check for capitalization. So months of the year, titles, the word I, right? So months of the year, I, names, titles, and the starts of sentences. So before I can do that though, I better read it out loud and make sure I have it in my head again, even though I've written it. Make sure I know where to put this, where do the sentences even start, so I know where capitalization should be. I'm going to read it out loud, and then I'm going to go back and look for things that I should capitalize. We know today that vitamin C, or ascorbic acid, is necessary for the formation of tendons, ligaments, bones, and cartilage. Vitamin C is found in lots of fresh foods, including oranges, lemons, and melons. It's also found in tomatoes, grapefruit, and bananas. Today, cases of scurvy are rare because it is easy to get fresh food. Captain Cook didn't know what we do now about vitamins, but he made his men follow life-saving directions. With Cook's directions, scurvy, a deadly disease, was prevented. Okay, let's look. We know that today vitamin C, I'm pretty sure the C should be capitalized because that's the name of something, or ascorbic acid, is necessary for the formation of tendons, ligaments, bones, and cartilage. Vitamin C, oh, there's another one. I better make sure if I'm going to do it once, I should do it to them both. Is found in lots of fresh foods, including oranges, lemons, and melons. It's also, period. I need to make sure I put capital I. It's also found in tomatoes, grapefruits, and bananas. Today, cases of scurvy are rare because it is easy to get fresh food. Captain Cook, that's the beginning of a sentence, period, Captain Cook. Captain Cook didn't know what we know about vitamins, but he made his men follow life-saving direction. Oh, Captain Cook. That sounds like his name. I better make sure I capitalize both parts. Oops, went to the wrong spot. It's okay. Come back over here. Captain Cook didn't know what we know about vitamins, but he made his men follow life-saving directions. With Cook's directions. Wait, Cook's isn't capitalized. If you cook something that's not a cap. Wait a second. It's Captain Cook. Cook must be his last name. Oh, okay, that should be capitalized. With Cook's directions, scurvy, a deadly disease, was prevented. Okay, I don't see anything else that I need to capitalize. Except maybe scurvy. Should scurvy be capitalized? Let me think. I don't capitalize the word influenza, or like flu. I wouldn't capitalize the word chickenpox or asthma. You know what? I'm going to say I shouldn't capitalize it because, you know what? It's not a name. Let's see. Now I need, what else is on my list? Let's look. Okay, so I've done spelling, check. I've done capitalization, check. Usage is a tough one, so I think I'm going to look at that at the end. Let's look at punctuation. Periods, question marks, commas, ellipse, exclamation points, quotation. Let's just go look and see what I can figure out. What punctuation needs to be at. I'm going to read it out loud again. Yes, again. And I'm going to go ahead and I am going to make all these changes. Let's see. We know today that vitamin C or ascorbic acid is necessary. Ooh, or ascorbic acid. That sounds like a clause. I'm going to put a pause. So a comma is necessary for the formation of tendons, ligaments, bones, and cartilage. So let's see this list. Formation of tendons. So comma, ligaments, bones, and cartilage. Vitamin C is found in lots of fresh foods. Let's see, including, you know what, fresh foods, that's the beginning. Hold on. Including oranges, that's another list. Lemons and melons. Lots of fresh foods. That comma feels wrong. What do I put at the beginning of a list? Oh, I know what I put. I put a colon. There we go. Including oranges, lemons, and melons. It's also found in tomatoes, grapefruit. That's another list. That means I need more commas. Okay. In tomatoes, grapefruit, and bananas. Today, that's the end of a sentence. I better put a period. Okay. Today, cases of scurvy are rare because it is easy to get fresh food. Captain Cook didn't know what we do now about vitamins, but he made, oh, what do you know? Captain Cook didn't know what we do know now about, oh, but the but is a conjunction. That means we should, okay, let's see. But he made his men follow life-saving directions. With Cook's directions, let's see. Oh, Cook's an apostrophe. Because whose directions? It's his. Okay, perfect. Directions of scurvy, a deadly disease, was prevented. Oh, better put a period at the end of that sentence. Great. Okay, so now, one more time. Let's go through it again, and we're going to look for usage. Let's make sure we have the correct form of words, all that stuff. Before we do that, let's just go ahead and approve all the changes that we've made. Because now that we see that we made them, let's go make sure that they stick. So go ahead and approve them. Look at all those changes. That's good. Now we know what we changed. Okay, now let's look at usage. And what we want to check for is that we use the right form of the word and that we did the right stuff and we did all this stuff. Okay, so we know today that vitamin C or ascorbic acid is necessary for the formation of tendons, ligaments, bones, and cartilage. That sounds good to me. Okay, let's keep going. Vitamin C is found in lots of fresh foods, including, wait a second, I put that in the wrong spot. In lots of fresh foods, including, no, that was right. That's correct. Okay, including oranges, lemons, and melons. It's also, wait a second, did I use the right form of it's? It's also, it is all, ooh, uh-oh, I forgot to put the apostrophe. It is also rare. Oh, see, so I need to make sure I had the right form of that word. In tomatoes, grapefruit, and bananas. Today, cases of scurvy are rare because it's easy to get fresh food. Captain Cook didn't know what we do now about vitamins, but he made his men follow life-saving directions. With Cook's direction, scurvy, a deadly that's a pause. With Cook's direction, scurvy, a deadly disease, was prevented. See, because I'd want to breathe there. With Cook's direction, scurvy, a deadly disease, that doesn't make sense. Okay, see, I know I added punctuation here while I was checking usage, but that's okay. We want to just make sure we make all the corrections we need, and we want to go through it a bunch of times so that we catch as many of those mistakes as we can. Okay, so here's what it is. Look at the difference. Look how much better that looks. We made so many changes, and we can see that by going to the revision history, and we can look at all the differences we had. I mean, because just look. So if I look at each one, like each thing, we can see how all the changes we made throughout the whole thing and see how much better we've come. And that's what we want. We want to make sure we make this the best we can. Okay, that's it for now. Hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.